What's going on YouTube? Welcome to another video, another training session here. Starting off with some deadlifts. Just going to kind of walk you through everything again, and hopefully these voiceovers are coming off more natural. Sometimes when I'm watching the playback on the video it will stutter or whatever, and there's some freeze frames, so it doesn't always sync up with what I'm seeing. But moving pretty well here. Same old warm-ups as usual. I like being able to gauge them and kind of coordinate and calibrate how my lifts are going to move. Obviously I know what numbers I'm hitting coming in, and that will adjust how I warm up, and I'll kind of adjust based off of that. But just to try to standardize everything, just so I know how that day is going to go. Sometimes if there's a lot of fluctuation between how you're warming up and how many warm-up sets you're going to do, you're shortchanging yourself for those top sets. But just making sure I can dial everything in when I get to my top set, it looks very similar to the warm-ups. And I usually throw on a belt the set right before the actual working set, so the last warm-up set. And so this would be a working set here, 518 for some doubles, and still having some technical lockout issues when I'm fatigued with the belt and stuff. So like as I'm dieting and leaning down, it will be easier, I'm hoping, because I kind of just get jumbled at the top. It's hard to extend my hips up and lock out with that belt so tight. But I tried wearing it higher to see if I can get a little bit more mobility. I don't seem to have the lockout issues when I go beltless, but it just takes a lot more out of me and I just don't recover as quickly. So different angle here, and you can kind of see when I really hip shoot and drive myself into it, works pretty well. It's just that lockout squeeze, and you can kind of see how jumbled I am at the top. And I think a lot of it is just belt positioning. So once I figure that out, I think I'll be in a better spot. Usually the more lean you are, the more efficient you are at a deadlift pull. Obviously less body mass, less body weight makes it a little bit more difficult, but I'd rather trade the lean body mass for the the body fat. Just get rid of that so I can just become more efficient and put myself in a better position. So super fast off the floor, I never have an issue. It's just a lockout issue, and I think a lot of that is just the belt. And I've adjusted it with various tightnesses to see if that makes a difference, and it really hasn't. And then I'm showing some warm-up sets on my SSB squat just to fill in the time frame, just to show some variety. And kind of, it's important to see warm-ups, I think. Some people will just jump fresh into a lift and just throw maximum weight on, and I don't agree with that. I think it's good to practice your technique on lighter stuff, and then also to be able to gauge where you're going to be. The more you use your body in the context that you're testing it, the better off you are at understanding how you move, what things you can improve on, and gives you more instances to make little changes that can make you a more efficient lifter or alleviate some of the stressors you may be feeling. So I like to move around racks sometimes just for variety from the angles, but then also just to make sure, use that mirror to kind of guide how I'm descending in the hole and making sure everything's aligned. So you don't want to rely on the mirror, but it's good feedback in addition to the video. So something I've done, I've been squatting in that monolith for a while though, and I just change the scenery is sometimes just good for the mind. So I think I'm doing triples here. I could literally pull up my phone and look at the program, but I'm too lazy, so I'm gonna watch it with you and figure out what I do. Yep, so definitely triples. And again, I train these heavy-ish just because I have another squat day and I like to do other leg accessories for muscle gains and hypertrophy. But I want that stimulus of the heavy weights so that I'm building strength and lean body mass all together at the same time. So you gotta pick your battles. You're not going to be as efficient at either if you're trying to find a happy medium. If you're trying to diet and maintain strength, you're obviously going to sacrifice strength and then muscle mass too, though. So that's a risk I'm willing to take. Just try to maintain and lower the intensity of the lift so that I can build back up into them. Different angle here. And really working on sitting back, which is my problem on squats. I just was very fall forward. You could see I've got a lot of stomach fat and a lot of body fat in that area, which is very strange because if you look at me from the back, I don't look like I do from the front. And so when all that body mass is forward in the whole of the squat, it makes it a little bit difficult for me. So a couple different angles here. The hybrid row. Again, reminder, hybrid row, not a strict barbell row. This is how I like to do mine, and I do other rows during the week to build hypertrophy, but this is strictly for power and athletic performance and stuff like that. So T-bar row here. Really just trying to move through these. Could be definitely going a little bit slower, more contraction, but after I do my heavy compounds and then sitting on this pad, I really don't like it. I wish there was an alternative, but I'm trying to take my legs out of it naturally when I do any sort of movement like this, my body just kind of reacts, and I use my leg drive a lot too. So just kind of working on that. You know, the drill here, day 2 overhead press, warming up pretty much the same warm-ups you're going to see. Overhead press because I can't overhead press as much as I can deadlift. Not much variety with what I can do. So just kind of hitting those weights, getting the reps in, trying to become more efficient. And you can't really see it from this angle, but I use a thumbless clean grip. Anytime I was putting my thumb over the bar, I was getting shoulder issues, and I could not simply press as fast as I am now. So I do wear the wrist wraps on the heavier sets just to give my wrist a little bit more support, and it's led to, better pressing for me. More weight moved, more overhead pressing sessions, so it works for me. Some people do thumbless, or they call it suicide grip on bench. I don't do that. It's because I don't trust myself with the weights are definitely heavier on bench than OHP, so that I've always thought about it though, just to feel like I could press more, but I'm not willing to take that risk. I'd rather be safe, and I'd rather, push the weight consistently over time and earn it that way. So these are the SPD wrist wraps I use, and they're pretty stiff and taut. So what I do is I'll wrap them up. I'll put the belt on. I won't clip the belt yet. Put the wrist wraps on, wrap them up, put them around my thumb, and then take the loop off the thumb so that they're in place. You'll see it here. And then I usually flip the belt, tighten it up. I guess I didn't do it in this set, but usually I do, just because it's hard to flip it with the wrist wraps on. And then, so this is kind of the support that I use for these heavier weights. So I get the speed and benefit of how I press, but I don't have to worry about my wrist caving in or any sort of injury like that. So just doing doubles here with 187. And yeah, taking them off. Same thing here. You can kind of see how ridiculous my waist looks. Like, I don't understand how I'm built the way I am. Makes no sense. Very strange potatoey build. And I guess strictly just genetic. I just happen to store all my body fat in my stomach area there. Because from the back, if you see from a different angle, it looks like I am not like I do from the front. So been a little bit of an insecurity for me, not gonna lie, throughout the years though. But I've just kept lifting, and I learned to move around the body, and I'll diet down slowly and hopefully get rid of it here. So moved on to close grip bench, and I'm using this Swiss bar, football bar. I'm not sure the exact term. People just use them interchangeably, just to get the close grip without agitating the shoulder that I mentioned in a previous video. So I just kind of worked up here just to see what's the best grip that I can use to get my triceps involved. So it's been interesting trying to recover, but I like having a plan B in my pocket just in the event that I do something stupid like I did with that bench and tweak something and then have to adjust going forward for that. So this is nice. You can kind of rest the bar on here and really pause, and then you can on your chest basically, just because of the surface area, and then you can really isolate to the triceps and get that isometric hold and then press. So been enjoying it. I might actually just make it my main tricep movement, because you can vary it a little bit here, and then this way you're getting close grip work just based off of that. So yeah, just use whatever works. And I just kept moving up just to try to find what's my range on here. I was doing sets of 8 to 12, I think 10, I'm not 100% sure, just to kind of see where I want to land and then progress forward. So I went up a little bit here, and basically I don't know why I didn't use the green plate. That would have made more sense, but here we are. So just working. These are not paused. I think I paused them in a different workout, probably misconstruing those, but really emphasizing just the pressing. And then with the overhead pressing too though, your triceps are going to take a hit, and then add in the dumbbell overhead press as well too though. So good amount of time here, and just slowly working up in weight on everything, trying to find angles that work for me, and working around any sort of technical issues or any discomforts and stuff like that. So just keep doing what you're doing. You add weight. These are the best movements you can do. You're hitting everything as much as you can, and then make little changes and get better. And nobody's going to be a perfect lifter. We're all working around different limb lengths, different ratios of how our body's built. So I've always had relatively long arms, so anytime I did anything, I felt like it was just sometimes hard to find a contraction. And I've used different stances with the cable flies. I'll do on my chest day, I'll do them high, and then I'll do them low on here. So I just kind of keep working and just trying to feel the contraction and then work my way up and go from there. I've really been liking dumbbell incline flies light though. I'm going to work my way up and kind of see what my upper limit is, but to really control the weight and let it down slowly to really get a nice contraction, and then I can really load and angle my elbow where I need it to be so that I can take advantage of that instead of like the cable where it makes it a little bit more difficult. So little stuff and changes like that. I'm constantly making them. You may notice them in videos. If you have any questions, you can comment and I'll address those and everything like that too. So, but yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching the latest video. If you want to help support the channel, I actually own my own wet shaving and grooming e-commerce website where everything's handmade by me. It's www.apexsoaps.com, and you can get a 10% off code using wet shaver. We've got some cool scents here. We've got some Coca-Cola scents, a horchata scent, traditional barbershop, just some really cool stuff, and you can purchase samples or you can buy the whole set. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out via email. Be quick to respond. Thanks for watching.